A young woman screams in the night. She dies in her bedroom. The door is locked from the inside. The windows are closed. No one entered the room. So, who killed her? And what is the Speckled Band? Listen carefully, because today we solve a murder. Hello, dear listeners. Welcome back to another episode of the Slow English Podcast. I am Jessica, your host. How are you today? I hope you are ready for a story. Usually, we talk about travel or daily life, but today we have something special. Today, we have a mystery. Do you know Sherlock Holmes? He is the most famous detective in the world. He lives in London at 221B Baker Street. He is very smart. He sees things that other people do not see. Today, I will tell you one of his most famous stories. It is called The Speckled Band. I will speak slowly. I will explain the difficult words. So, relax and listen. Let's go to London in the year 1883. One morning, Sherlock Holmes and his friend, Dr. Watson, were eating breakfast. Suddenly, a woman knocked on the door. Her name was Helen Stoner. Helen was very scared. Her face was white. She was shivering. Do you know the word shiver? It means when your body shakes. Usually, you shiver when you are cold. But Helen was not cold. She was terrified. She was very, very afraid. Sherlock Holmes looked at her and said, "Do not be afraid, madam. Sit down. Take a cup of hot coffee. Why are you here?" Helen said, "Mr. Holmes, I am afraid for my life. I think someone wants to kill me." She told Holmes about her family. She lived with her stepfather. A stepfather is the man who marries your mother after your father dies. Her stepfather's name was Dr. Roylott. Dr. Roylott was not a nice man. He was huge, he was strong, and he was very angry. He lived in a big old house in the countryside. He loved strange animals. He brought animals from India. He had a cheetah and a baboon. These dangerous animals walked freely in the garden. Everyone was scared of Dr. Roylott. Helen started to cry. She said, "Mr. Holmes, I had a twin sister. Her name was Julia." A twin means a brother or sister born at the same time as you. 2 years ago, Helen said, Julia died. It was a terrible night. Let me tell you what happened that night. Julia was in her bedroom. Helen was in the next room. Before she went to sleep, Julia asked a strange question. She asked, "Helen, do you ever hear a whistle in the middle of the night?" A whistle is a high sound made by blowing air through your lips. Helen said, "No, I never hear a whistle." That night there was a big storm. The wind was very loud. Suddenly, Helen heard a scream. It was her sister, Julia. Helen ran to Julia's room. She opened the door. Julia was standing there. Her face was white with fear. She pointed her finger at the stepfather's room, and she shouted her last words. It was the band, the Speckled Band. Then Julia fell on the floor and died. Now, this is the mystery. The police came. They checked the room. The door was locked from the inside. The windows were covered with heavy iron bars. The chimney was too small for a person. There was no way for a killer to enter the room, and there was no way for a killer to leave. So, how did she die? And what is the Speckled Band? Speckled means something that has small spots or dots on it, like a shirt with polka dots. Was it a group of people? Was it a piece of clothes? Nobody knew. Sherlock Holmes listened carefully. He asked, "Why are you here today, 2 years later?" Helen said, "Because yesterday my stepfather said, 'Helen, you must move to a new room.' He moved me into Julia's old room, the room where she died." She continued, "Last night I was lying in Julia's bed. I couldn't sleep, and then I heard it." Holmes asked, "What did you hear?" She whispered, "I heard the whistle, the same low whistle my sister heard before she died. I ran out of the house immediately." Holmes understood. He said, "We must act fast. Your life is in danger." Holmes found the motive. A motive is the reason for a crime. Why would the stepfather kill them? The answer was simple. Money. The mother left money for the girls. If the girls married, they would take the money. If they died, the stepfather would keep all the money. He was a greedy man. Holmes and Watson went to the old house. The stepfather was not home. Holmes looked very carefully at the bedroom. He used a magnifying glass. He found 3 strange things. These are the clues. Listen carefully. Clue number 1, the bell rope. Next to the bed, there was a long rope. In old houses, you pull this rope to call a servant. It rings a bell. Holmes pulled the rope, but no sound. He said, "This is strange. This rope is fake. It does not work. And look, it is attached to a hook near the ceiling." Clue number 2, the ventilator. A ventilator is a small hole in the wall to let air come in. Usually, a ventilator goes to the outside for fresh air, but this ventilator was different. It connected Julia's room to the stepfather's room next door. Holmes said, "Why would you want air from another bedroom? That is very strange." Clue number 3, the bed. Holmes tried to push the bed. He couldn't move it. He looked down. The bed was clamped to the floor. It was fixed. He said, "Aha! The bed cannot move. It must stay exactly here, right next to the fake rope. And the rope hangs down from the ventilator." Holmes looked at Watson and said, "I know the answer, but to prove it, we must stay in this room tonight. It will be very dangerous." That night, Holmes and Watson sat in the bedroom. They turned off the lights. It was pitch black. This means it was totally dark. They had to be quiet. Very, very quiet. They waited for hours. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. They heard the rain outside. They heard the wind. Suddenly, at 3 a.m., they heard a sound. It was a very soft sound, like steam coming out of a kettle. Hiss! Holmes jumped up. He lit a match. He saw something on the bell rope. He hit it with his cane. He hit it hard. "Do you see it, Watson? Do you see it?" Watson did not see anything. But then a terrible scream came from the next room, the stepfather's room. Holmes and Watson ran into the next room. They saw Dr. Roylott. He was sitting on a chair. He was dead, and wrapped around his head was a yellow snake with brown spots. "The Speckled Band," said Holmes. "It is a swamp adder. It is the deadliest snake in India." Here is the solution to the mystery. The stepfather was a wicked man. He wanted the money. He bought a poisonous snake. He trained the snake to go through the ventilator, the hole in the wall. The snake crawled down the fake rope, and because the bed was fixed to the floor, the snake landed right on the sleeping girl beside it. The whistle? That was the sound the stepfather made to call the snake back before morning. Julia died from the snake bite. The doctors couldn't see the bite because the snake was very small. But tonight, when Holmes hit the snake got angry. It went back through the hole and bit its own master. The killer was killed by his own weapon. Helen Stoner was safe, and Sherlock Holmes solved the case. Wow, what a story! The speckled band refers to the spots on the snake. Did you guess the answer before the end? This story teaches us many words. Words like shiver, to shake, stepfather, mother's husband, ventilator, air hole, and fake, not real. I hope you enjoyed this mystery episode. Listening to stories is the best way to improve your English. You learn new words and you don't even notice it. If you liked this episode, please do me a huge favor. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and follow us for more slow English podcasts. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay curious, and see you next time. Bye-bye.